Common. Are you learning something?
Yes.
Wala ata, bro. Wala, zero. So I'm hoping that you are gaining something so that later on you will become a leader and lead others. These other things that will guide you. So we have learned small changes that will mean big result. And then when changes happens too quickly last Tuesday, then we are now in changes. What are the common mistakes that derail changes? What are some of the common mistakes that derail positive transition or positive change? So last Tuesday we were talking about when things happen too quickly and when the leader wanting to impose a change. So this morning, since we will not review because we have nine points, commenting on some of the common mistakes that derails positive change or positive transformation or effect in the process of implementing a change. So this common mistake will be pointed out. Number one, introduction. This is the world in which we will notice that when people wanted to implement a change, they will be hunted by failure of their attempts. And the top then will hunt them, even pastors and leaders, that because of the experience that they have failed before, as if they are adamant, as if they are afraid to implement another change. The reason why? Because there were mistakes, there were wrong implementations in implementing the change. And so let us consider this line next. So because of the hurts or the effect of the wrong implementation, the leaders and the people felt that there is a larger problem because of this. This larger problem is because of the failures that they are encountering. So these failures have come up in the organization against the point in following the Lord and implementing the change. Yes. So on this journey of change, we can discover 9 mistakes. Let us be aware of these 9 and know them by heart. Being aware of these 9 mistakes in the process of leading a change, it will cause damage or it will strengthen our implementation of change or strengthening the organization. So here are the 9 common mistakes. Number 1, the first is leading a change with the wrong motivation. Okay, beautiful, no? If you implement a change, check your motive. Why am I changing this? Why I am implementing a change? What's my motive? Is my motive for my own edification or for myself to be glorified? Sino nag-change? Sino nag-implement change? Ako to ba? So even though you have a good thing to discuss or to bring to the organization, if your motive is wrong, of course God is on your way to get you and will give you, hopefully, to deal with you. Hopefully you will change, or hopefully you will be able to realize. So, why is it this process is wrong? Why is it always have that attempt? Because as natural as we are, we have that natural desire to get ourselves up. Gasa tayo sa ating upuan. We are lifting up our own chairs. It's the natural, selfish force of the man to lift up his own. Diba? So kung hindi tayo matat sa Panginoon, our tendency is to boost ourselves up. So this is connected that ako. Because in the process, you wanted to be known. You wanted to be glorified. So we have the natural desire of significance and success. So Jesus didn't condemn the desire the early disciples had. Yet Jesus condemns the selfish motivation. Did you remember the case of the apostles? The mother said, because the mother has two apostles. You know yung mother? The mother ni James and John. Sabi niya, Lord, I want my son to be on your left, the other on your right. Jesus is not condemning the desire, but Jesus is condemning the selfish motivation. It's good to have a desire, but check your motive. What is your motive? Is your motive for Sunday? Ano sabi sa 1 Corinthians 10:31? In everything that we do, whether we eat or we drink, in anything that you do, magbihis ka, magbihis mo. What is your motivation? To appear beautiful to the people or to glorify God? When you eat, when you drink, when you sleep, sabi ni Paul, in everything that you do, it should be that our motive is to glorify the Lord. When you teach, when you are joining the group, our motive should be to glorify the Lord. So, it should not be this one that lift up your own self. So, that's number one. So, i-apply natin, no? If you want to implement a change, remember that you have to check your motive if it's wrong. Check it with the Lord. Number two, we seek to do change to people rather than leading the people through a change. What do I mean? We seek to do change to people rather than leading the people through a change. Kung baga sa i-direct mo ang tao. O kung baga sa hasty changes in people rather than knowing that the people needs a change, but you have the flexibility to let him pass through proper dealings with the Lord, so that there will be he will be going through the change. What's the meaning of leading people through the change? He himself, the people themselves will realize that as the process goes on, they will come to realize, I need a change. This should effect a change, rather than forcing the people to abruptly change his lifestyle without realizing that he needs a change. So, there is a process of leading the people through change by the people themselves realizing. Without realizing, it will be harsh and brutal for the people for a leader to change the person. So, change people by making all kinds of organizational changes before investing appropriately in the existing of people. And the ones that I want to implement a change, so I will change the person, I will change the teachers. Gusto mo bago? You want to implement a change, so palitan mo, luma na to, paglumin mo. So, by then the leader will experience that the same thing will happen. The point is, if you are a good leader, the way of implementing a change is not to change the person. If the person is not able, the good leader has a perception that that person who has a problem will have to go on the process of changing. In other words, if you just change a person, you will encounter the same problem again. Pag yes, ang manager or ang leader, kita ng tao, that if yes, that the person is a problem, deal with the problem so that the person will change. Or, if you just change the person, later on you will encounter the same. Hindi mo na solve ang problem. So, though the organization changes, the changes in organization are important and allow to us to begin reaching new people, the existing person revolted. Oh, ito noon ang bagong mga tao na nilagay, nag-revolt. And then anong lumang LLS mo, you only experience that. What had happened to me, you will encounter also Palestine. Next. You got to learn that simply changing the organization changes nothing because the church is people. Therefore, spiritual leaders must focus on leading people through a journey of personal change. Okay, we have failures. Let us go through this and pray that individually as we go on the stages of life, the journey of personal change, you will encounter and feel the need of unnecessary change. So, hindi mo pinapamulit sa tao, magkasubo, they themselves should be aware that is a proper needed change as you encounter the situation. So when you do the organizational changes, necessarily to be like a reflect Christ in the generation becomes a natural outcome. So, in other words, when there is a problem, maybe you will encounter the Lord Jesus Christ. Meeting the Lord in the personal life will cause them to reflect on the things that they need to achieve in their life. Number 3. We see change as primarily strategic issue. It's number 3. What's the meaning of this? Meaning, we are focusing on the strategy. So, ang leader mag-isip, no? If we have to implement a change, it is wrong to focus on the strategy. What strategy will I do? Many of the leaders have encountered this in the previous organization. So the person would say, well, maybe your strategy is wrong. So the strategy, focused on the strategy is wrong. There must be prior to that. If we focus on, give importance, if we give importance to strategy, you will be a failure. Strategy is not the issue. What is the issue? It is a huge mistake to focus on strategy. While strategy is important, yes, we don't really call strategy, there should be a system, but change is first and foremost a spiritual issue. In other words, when there is a problem in the organization, a problem in the person, the first cause of the problem is a spiritual issue. What do I mean? That is why we are giving priority to staff devotional, because when our devotion is right with the Lord, changes will affect any other bestowal of your duty. Sa Paul, nagkakalit ka. Sa Paul, ano na siya? Isang pagpapagpapaliro. If your devotion to the Lord is right, it will affect the other thing that is causing the problem. So that's the meaning here. Foremost, the problem is of spiritual issue. Let us learn the lesson of Nehemiah. He would have failed if he started with a strategy. So, ibase niya sa life ni Nehemiah that, Nehemiah succeeded leading the people who were captives and in Babylon, they returned to Israel. And Nehemiah was effective because he was not focusing on the strategy, he was focusing on the problem with the spiritual reason. And because of spiritual reason, what is the steps? He was successful because he started with God, His Word, and prayer. If our teachers and staff have this, we are hoping that through this, lots of the concerns of the people's problem will be tackled. First, if we have the devotional given importance, if we are devoted to the Lord, other issues in life will just fall away. Matanggal na siya. Dahil ano ninyo, we are successful. Then as he went on and watched, God moves, he dealt with them, the strategic plans and leadership necessary to bring about these productive changes to Jerusalem. In other words, when he started with God, his word of start with God, with word, and with prayer. Later on, the Lord will just show you what strategy you will use. So do not focus, do not capitalize on strategy. Consider that our changes could be met and be tackled by having a spiritual issue first. Get right with the Lord, then everything will fall down. Every wrong things will fall off. Just the right things. Patanggalan sila daw dahon na layak. Kaya tama tayo sa Panginoon. Therefore, we fail to understand that we can't move ministries, organizations to change while remaining unchanged ourselves. In other words, the leaders, if you are implementing a change, you yourself will be mirroring yourself to the people you are leading. And if you are, if they themselves, they see you unchanged, ang dami siya mag-change. Naglang, isali ang leaders magturo, doon ka. Dito, punta kayo dito. So, kung wala man sa change ang leader, mamirror na sa ila, that is why they will experience derailment or problem or pointing the way doesn't work. We need to show the way by allowing God consistently to be transforming us. Kasi kita, hindi ka na say, our problem is a spiritual issue. We must first have a devotion to the Lord. Devotion ka ito, kaya nakago ko. Devotion kayo wala nang gawa ko. It's wrong. So, it should be that the leader shows the change himself or will lead. He will be the one to lead. He should not just point what to do. He should show them. Ano nang gawa sa parents, no? You are not just to show. You are not just to point the way. Show them the way. Nalang mga ka. Si Isla. Asa si Isla? Sino ko? May pinta pa? Sabi niya is, nakadoon. Siya doon, nakadoon. Puntahan mo. Kung hanapin na mamaya, matagalan yan. Nakadoon. So, hindi niya alam na ikaw may first experience. Puntahan mo sa mga that is also a reference to this. In other words, it would be better if you yourself will want to show them. Mahirapan yan, may kasyaman-syaman yan. You want effective change, show them the way. Now, with regards to that, there are two things that will happen as we allow God to shape us. The leader, in other words, we're considering the mistake that the implementation of a change will fail if the leader will not change himself. So, if the leader will change himself, these are the things that will happen. First, we begin to naturally lead in the way God would have lead us. That's the first. That's the natural way God is quickly to simply. People are able to see in us who they want to be and where they want to go. In other words, the leaders becomes the idol of the people. And he is mirroring, acting. That leader will be the picture of what I will be and what I want to do. So, after all said and goes, sin of the leader becomes the team, the group. Hindi mo yung klase ko, hindi sa klase, behavior sa itself. Yak-yak ang leader, yak-yak ang leader. They are catching your spirit. So if you lead in the right spirit, that will be effective. Next, number 5. We think we can do it alone and try. This always leads to failure. So that is the number 5 mistakes that we will experience when we change. It will be a failure if you think that the leader it's me alone. You should do this. Ay nakakaisip lang ako. You are not passive. You are not passive. A good leader is able to, just like a part-time actor, able to use your follower. Kung ang follower mo hindi makagawa kung wala ka na failure. In other words, a good leadership is shown in that when the leader is absent, the potentials of the members are being or the leader is able to delegate. Hindi mo kaya yun. It should be a machine na you're just a small button but pinindot ang andalihan. So the truth is that one person can change anything. But one person can be a catalyst. In other words, sa number 5, if the leader fails to see himself as a catalyst, what is a catalyst? A catalyst, among isang small element that when it is there, it is able to move, let the body move. I-challenge siya. Kung nang ginagawa ni Andres Golpasyon. Kaya si Rizal, proven and right wing. He was able to set a fire to the people. Hindi nga, we will cause a revolution. I live. I don't need you. The leaders will be able to set a fire in the hearts of the people that they will be mobilized. Magkaroon sila mag-ansa. You're able to pull the hearts of the people. No, that is a catalyst. And that you are the reason why they rise up. Ang good leaders are able to sway the hearts of the people. Pag magsalita mo, magaganda mo sila. So that is a great metaphor is the like that of a wave. One person can do it, but one person can start it. Ano mag-push ang wave? Ibang mo siya bago mong gawin, i-move mo mag-push ang wave. So, that is the metaphor in here that when we are together pushing the wave, it will cause to do something. The same is true with the church change or organizational change or the change. We need to invest in the person, empower the person, and release other leaders into the church to start the wave of a change. So it's not only the leader standing at the front. Many times ang leader is sa likuran. If you are able to move as a catalyst, able to push them to leadership, mauni ang yung sabi ni Juan, discover sa amin na kita ko ba ang sa healing that you discover sa akin sa death, you have to push them to the front. When they're death, maano sila maulaw eh. Of course, they have to become alam makita ang isang salita. So, a good leader for the deaf should push them. Ang ginagawa natin on Thursday, that is one. Pushing them to become leaders. Then, one by one, lead them. I remember when we were in 62, naka-program na, basahin lang, ano lang minsan, kung ano nakasulat yan, ganyan lang talaga. So you have to lead them to another process of a change. Basta you have to push them. That's a good leader. Even in the hearing word, it is not the leader just doing it alone. Kita ko kay Jimmy nung minsan ba? Nung Saturday. Dalagan Saturday, dalagan Saturday. Dapat you're able to put somebody responsible for that. No choir orchestra ka. No. Pindot-pindot ka lang. So, ako kung dalo ko, ako na yung natanan ba? What will happen to the organization kung wala po? Piang. Kita kagalaw. So a good leader is able to point, ito imo, ito imo, ito imo. What's the problem? I-check mo. Number 6. Giving applause of people rather than God's eternal applause. You will not have a good change if at the start the leader is wanting the applause or approval of the people. Approval. Okay ka. O yan ang hinahanap mo. In other words, later on in the process of living a change, it's not only that you will hear approval. There are times you want that, criticize it. And when you hear criticism, you all just want to hear applause. Pag mag-criticize ka, so leader ka, napatula na, pagsak. So, giving applause to the people rather than God's eternal applause. In other words, expect that later on, there will be criticism along the way, and you have to stand. The first makes us followers because we surrender to the agenda of other people. You know, the applause of the people. The applause of the people will make you surrender and be followers of others, and make them happy. You want them to be happy? Ang gusto nila, ang gusto nila, applause of the people. This guarantees failure because we compromise what's right for the church or what's the right that is good for others. The second makes us leaders while we lose some people and make others angry. We will be the more apt to consistently pursue the agenda that God has given us. So in other words, in leadership, you lose some, you win some. If you want to win all, nothing, it cannot happen. Iba-iba ang personality, iba-iba ang style, iba-iba ang personality. So, expect that when you lead and implement a change, there are factors that will disagree. Ganyan ito. But consider the applause of the eternal God rather than the applause of men. Number 7, too much and too soon. In other words, another failure in implementing a change when you have a change is too much change. Because ano parang sila? Makeover. I-makeover mo nga, whole makeover ng buo. Hindi pang biglaan, unti-unti lang. Kung sa salakyan pa, yung sa bahay pa galing namin na too much and too soon. Quick, biglaan. So in this community change, everything, this totally disrupts the lives of the people. Because hindi mo na sila building, people na sila, ma-disrupt lahat. Ma-disorient, in other words. Ang mental capacity ng tao hindi makasunod ay nagbago lahat. Nahinay na kung saan kayo. Nasabi ko na, nahinay o kanunay. Nahinay na kanunay. So, when that happens, the people could not feel connected. But I'm still a part of the organization. Wala na ako tulabot. If I'm not anymore involved here, there is no connection. And it is not comfortable in their own feeling. So the key is to identify and then change the issue within the church. Ang unahon mo, something that derails the process, something that kills, by providing a place for the existing people to remain cared for. In other words, as long as there are changes and the people themselves feel that they are connected, I'm still connected with the organization, I'm still cared for, and we are cared for so as long as there is that connection, that's not too much and that's not too soon. Right? Changing the wrong things. Of course, this is wrong because you are changing the wrong things. So many churches are willing to compromise God's clearly expressed truth, but will die before